Hi guys, welcome to autumn. I wanted to chat with you. I feel like I should get my phone just so we could tag other people. My friends, I wanted to, a lot of you guys know, good morning. I got it close enough so I could chat better. I wanted to, first I want to touch base. Y'all, this is autumn. I love being surrounded by fall. But what I wanted to share with you guys is something that it's so hard for me. It's really hard. A lot of people don't realize how hard it is to deal with addiction. And a lot of people think that good morning, addiction has to do solely with drugs. And that's not always the case. I was going to make a video and then I thought, okay, so if you cry, so what? Everybody's seen you cry before. Now, I'm curious, and you don't have to admit to this because I feel like my place is been called by God to share my story, right? Because I think we all have a story. Y'all, I gotta switch out this pillow. Them little flowers are itching me. I find comfort in coffee. I find comfort in food. I found comfort in alcohol. I typically was an abuser of everything. So addictions, what do they look like? Hey, Gretchen. What do addictions look like? To many people, addictions are only drugs. They are hard. I've watched people suffer with them. Smoking. I did that too. The addiction that I suffer with the most is right now food. I have an addiction to food. I could eat the best ever, and then I could trail off and go off the deep end as quickly as I got on. But what do I want to say? Addictions affect people to the point where they're scared to talk about it. Cigarettes, right. I know. I'm trying to keep this close enough, Susan, so I could see comments and answer. All right, so let me give you a backstory. I was the type of person who always just wanted to be liked or loved by people. So I did what they did. I didn't develop my own personality. That came later in life. I was just trying to be everybody else. I'm going to take a sip of my happy place. It's hard. It's hard. And I feel like, oh, Gretchen, you did. I'm so sorry, honey. So that's another side effect of addiction. So I'm going to try, guys. I'm going to try. So I love my community because I really feel like I could be myself with you guys better than I can the people that knew me the most. And like letting my hair go gray. I had a family member go, "What are you doing that for?" It's not what you do to people you love. To people you love, you embrace them, right? And that is what I do. So I have a lot of learning to do. And I was not only, I was enabled by other people because they wanted to keep me suppressed. And addictions run really, really deep. And what I want to say is that I started smoking at 18 and I quit when I was 22. And then what I did was, after I quit, I started drinking. And it was hard, right? So you took one and made it another one. And then you go and you're like, okay, so the drinking put me to sleep so that you forget about everything, right? And then you wake up and you start the cycle all over again. But for a lot of people, that made people happy because I wasn't talking. And then after I said, I am going to give up drinking, right? Oh, thank you, Roseanne. Thank you so much. Because it's deep. You know, you battle with depression or what have you. And, you know, so you have, I did the smoking, I did the drinking, and then the eating. And each one affects your body differently. And sometimes we end up drunk to the point where people are like painting pictures on your face and, you know, they're making fun of you or taking pictures. In this day and age, we get to take pictures of people and post it and, you know, make a mockery of them. But there's a reason. There's a reason we fall into these addictions, and it goes to our past. And our past wasn't good, right? That's why we do it. We do it to cover up something. And when you're covering up something, that's when you step back and you look at your family and you wonder, how is this? How can I change? Why do I continue to do this? So for me, I had two beautiful parents. I did. My parents may not have done the best because they didn't have it themselves. And that's a whole nother story. But I hid because I didn't feel like I was loved. So I found that joy. Oh, they do. I found that joy in food. And I found so much joy in food that I became 370 pounds. Yes. Yes. And I did therapy too. That's hard, right? It's really hard, you know? But this is what I learned through therapy was we all hide from our past. Whether we were abused, whether it was physical, whether it was emotional. Sometimes you wonder, was it better to be beat or ignored? Was it better to eat or be yelled at? You know, we never know. And there's so many things that bring out those addictive qualities in our past. So part of mine was clinical depression, panic attacks, and anxiety disorders since I was a little kid. Got diagnosed with clinical depression as I was in my late 20s, early 20s, before I met my husband. So early 20s. Yes. And you know what, Gretchen? I've never suffered that way. I've never suffered with not eating. I would wake up from my pain medication and eat. Take my pain medication, go back to sleep. You guys, everybody's story is so deep and so unique. And it's unique to you. And I started healing, y'all know, back in 2015. Many of you guys know, with Beachbody. I learned how to embrace love. I learned how to be loved. I never had that. I was told I could have gastric bypass surgery, and what would that have done for me? Guys, I can't see comments anymore. My eyes are blurry. I was told I could have gastric bypass surgery. There was no sleeves. There was no anything back in that day. But you wanted to know, I needed, after everything I went through, I feel like God has always worked in my life. Oh my God, my eyes are so blurry. I feel like God has always been working in my life. I felt a pull that if I did not start a wellness journey without, and for me, this is for me, if any of you out there, I don't know who's on anymore because my eyes are running, they're just running. If any of you on here have had gastric bypass surgery, that's your story. In no way, shape, or form do I ever want to belittle anybody. But I felt like I needed to fight for my life because I didn't have that example. So, I'm going to take a sip, compose. For everybody that fights with addiction, it's hard. And I don't want anybody to ever suffer from addiction and feel like they're alone. You know what? One day I'm going to do a video and there'll be no tears. None. Okay. So I want you guys all to know, and I'll get back to answers, replies, but it's so blurry I can't see anything. So this journey, and Susan knows, and she's the only one I could see from the beginning that is not blurry anymore. Susan knows my Beachbody journey. Susan knows that when I started this journey, we've had talks. When I started this journey, my mom wasn't here, so I fight for her. I do this for her too. I want everyone to know that you are so worth fighting for. Take a picture of yourself and look at it. Look at it every single day. And Roseanne, if you're still on here, Roseanne knows my journey. Roseanne's been with me for years. There is nothing wrong with admitting you have an addiction. Food, cigarettes, sex, drugs, work. They're all addictive. But there is a community for you. And I created one. And yes, Susan, I just saw your name. I don't know what it says, but I just want to thank you for being there. Susan and I talked last night. And while she's starting her own business and her own journey, I know I have someone I can lean on. And I think that's so important. And for me, nailing down this last portion of my life, it starts with nutrition. I never knew that. I had a morbidly obese mom. My dad could do whatever he wanted, but it all has a consequence in life. A lot of us go, I could eat whatever I want. Okay, but do you see what happens on the inside? The chemicals from some of those foods fuck up your head. They do. I know God doesn't appreciate swearing. I'm so sorry. But they mess with you. The alcohol, too much of it. It messes with you. The smoking. You can't see it. It's riddled in your lungs. We don't breathe as well. The eating puts around the middle. I have visceral fat. That fat now absorbs into my organs. I can't see that, but I had testing done. I had those contrast MRIs. I've had every dye shot into me through my pain, my broken spine. And then my doctor showed me these x-rays and MRIs and bones and fat and oh my God, just everything. And then my naturopath sat there and she said to me, you need to do something. And we've had some deep talks. It's nutrition. Nutrition is your medicine. Hippocrates said it. Let thy food be your medicine, and your medicine be thy food. That's what I was missing. So I was screwed up for decades until 2015. But even in 2015, did I not know? I didn't know. I was still eating foods that it was unbeknownst to me. I didn't know. I didn't know that me becoming a vegan was going to help the inflammation in my arteries lessen. I didn't know this. These are things that are not taught to us when we go to the doctors. My mom didn't know it. My sisters, my aunts, nobody knew these things. So when I began this, I was telling Susan last night, a couple years ago, I took these nutritional courses through Beachbody to understand how food reacts in your body. But then this new program released after I paid for all these programs. All of my new customers and my clients get them for free. So these nutritional programs that I worked my ass off for to get certified as a nutritional mentor, by the way, mentor, not a nutritionist, I paid for those. And now you get those. And all of this that's happening, that's because of this. I changed my mindset. I changed my mindset because of these courses that all of my new clients get. Susan and I just bought them. We're starting the new program. I'm starting in 2 weeks because that's when my workout is over. But this is what's going to help you on your nutritional addiction. But any addiction. This is my therapy. This is therapy for me. And I want you all to know that whatever course of therapy you take, do not feel like you're a failure. You know, people that are addicted to drugs, you know, they sit there and they have family members that will just walk past them. You know, he did it to himself. No, he's fighting. He's fighting, or she's fighting. We're all fighting for life. It's life. We all want it. And what do you need to get there? A community. We all need a community. Oh, guys. I see comments. Guys, my eyes are so blurry. I'm going to come back and answer them after. So, I want to tell you, I'm always open. Yes, there is a community that y'all could join. And it's on nutrition because that's what I battle. Right now, I am clean of my pain medication that I had in a long time ago. I'm not drinking because that was addictive for me as well. But my constant battle is food because that's what you need to sustain in life. You could have lost weight. You could have gained weight. There are so many of us, and don't battle it alone because you will never get your sobriety. You will never quit cigarettes. You will never quit drugs. You will never learn to eat properly if you feel like you are alone. You need to find a person who has conquered that addiction. and ask them to mentor you. Because anybody who has suffered with an addiction, no matter what, I've talked about them all, no matter what, you need to find the person who has dealt with what you want to accomplish. I don't know who just sent all those happy faces, but I need them. I need them. Eventually my eyes are going to clear up and I'm going to be able to see. So that's my talk. That's my thing. Don't battle with addiction. Don't go gray on your own. I found a community on Instagram that's called Grombre. Don't do anything on your own if you feel weak. And weak is okay. Weak is okay. Don't you ever feel like you need to be weak on your own, because that is the strength that you admitted when you open up your world and you tell somebody that you're suffering. And if they don't take your hand virtually, and if they don't take your hand in person, then you need to walk away from them, because they are not going to help you. But if you admitted your addiction to somebody and they took your hand, stay with them. Don't let them go. Don't let them go. As much as I am filled with emotion, sometimes I lose that connection because I wasn't raised with it. And every day I battle that. Because when you never had the ability to build connections, you find people like Susan and my new friend Gloria and my Cindy and everybody on my team and the new friends that I've met. You are the reason that I'm getting stronger. And I thank each and every one of you. And I'm excited. I am. I'm crying because that's me. I know how to cry well. But when you find those people, you don't ever let them go. Ever. Young, old, it doesn't matter. You stay with them, because they're going to get you through the hard times, and then they're going to get you through the bad times, and the good times, and the not so good times. And this time next week, we would all be together in New Orleans. But because COVID hit, I'm seeing all these pictures come up. And these are all the people that were supposed to be in New Orleans. I can't see. I see Susan. I see your little face. I can't wait to get back to you. And everybody from our team is posting all the pictures from our last annual summit. It was in Indiana. And it's hard because I've built relationships with them through the years. And we see each other in the summer. And I want to bring more people with me. Because you know what? I was a foster mom. I am a special education paraprofessional. I do trainings. I'm on the town committee. I have a husband, a dog, a daughter. I'm a sister, an aunt. I am paraprofessional president. I wear so many hats. And I want to teach people that no matter what you do in life, taking care of you has to be number one. Because if you don't have your health and wellness, you've done nothing. You have done nothing. Because you're going to run yourself ragged. Your heart's not strong enough to take it. We're eating poor foods to get through the day. We're fueling ourselves with sugary, caffeinated, gross drinks that I used to drink. So I'm not being a prude, I'm being honest. And that was something I was not raised with. So this is all like a work in progress. I'm rebuilding Cheryl over these 5 years. Rebuilding. Like I'm creating a whole new person. So I've done all these things. And I'm building a business. Building a business doesn't have to be laborious. I do it in 3 hours a day. But what do is I teach people how to eat properly and move their bodies. And when I first started, I wasn't so great at it because I didn't know connection. And it's so weird because I touch my leg, but I can't feel it. I see myself touching it. That's from my accident years ago. And I could just, I feel the pressure. And it's so weird. And the reason I bring that up, I was touched with no feeling. And I feel like God made that happen. I had a family. And there wasn't much connection. And in 2015, I found a family. And I'm developing that connection. It's so weird how life goes in a circle. And I want you guys to be a part of that. Whether you join me in my VIP group that gets all those nutrition programs, because there's always something I'm doing, or you stick by me and we build that connection. I'm still learning. It's just so weird. Sometimes I have such a hard time understanding it because I've been sitting for a while now. So when I stand up, I'm going to look like I'm 100 years old because my spine is a freaking mess. But I do everything. Because the day we stop is the day that we are now gone to our maker. And I say the same things over and over again. But I got to get back to a little bit of work and get Reno out. I needed to share that part about addiction. I felt it so strong on my heart, and I think that's where I listen to personal development every day. I read personal development, and in both books, in the podcast I was listening to a friend I was talking to 2 days ago, it was all about addiction. And I felt like that was God's way of saying, Cheryl, you need to talk about this. You need to address this. You need to make people understand that addiction is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of I need help. I need help. And I'm reaching out. And I want you to grab my hand. I need it. That's addiction. It's so many of us don't understand. We need love and support just like everybody else. My watch is going crazy because I finally found a setting. So I want you guys, the cup. Why does the cup feel heavy? Because I've been holding it for so long. I want you guys to know that I love and honor each and every one of you, that building relationships is the strength in our society that we're missing. And through addiction, there is healing. There is healing. Because we need to get to our older days. We need to get there. And we need to get there stronger, and with support that is strong. That is everything. So, unfortunately, I got to put this down because I've been sitting for a while. And for many of you that know, this is not good to do. So I'm going to slide my way up. And I want you guys to know, don't struggle on your own. Don't do it. I do what I do with 4 disabilities. I've broken my shoulder in 2018. I have a torn meniscus. I modify all of my workouts. I do everything. And the strong people will get by because we know now to ask for help. No matter what you do, it's going to take an investment in your life. No matter what. If you're going to change your nutrition, it's going to take a change in your life. It's an investment. You are the worthy investment. When I think about what I paid for this program, under $180, under, to get started, I couldn't get 85 plus programs, complete with trainers, and 2 free nutritional programs. That's a nutritionist, 2 nutritionists walking you through for under $180, and a meal replacement for under like, I am blown away. Like, there is no, I have a hard time because you can't get a nutritionist for $180. You can't. You're getting 2, a year of streaming workouts, a meal replacement for under $180. I don't know. So that's like the investment. Yes, there's an investment. Nothing we do in life for free is ever going to mean anything to us. Ever. Because there is no investment. We didn't put money into it. I have this phone. I pay for it. It's an investment. It doesn't add to the quality of my life. We make the investments that we choose. What are you going to choose? What will you choose? Will you choose this over your health? I'm using this as just a tangible item. It's not a phone. It could be a computer. It could be whatever. It could be this candle that I love dearly. Lemon lavender. It could be anything. What's more important than you? I don't think anything. There's nobody. Nobody. So put value into your life. Find a mentor. The person who's going to help you get to your goals. Whether you want to give up sex, drugs, cigarettes, eating, working too much, whether it's seeking out a therapist, asking me. I've battled a few addictions. I don't have all the answers. But when I don't have all the answers, I lean on my team. And together we're going to help you get to where you want to go. My eyes are starting to clear up a little bit, so I'm going to get to the responses. But I need you guys to all know you are worthy. You are beautiful. You have all the good news, girl. All of it. That's why I wore this today. I felt like I needed to share good news. God's working on our lives, and He's working on them together. So as I always give a dedication to my mother, I always think about it. You have one life. Love it. Honor it. Cherish it. It's yours for as long as you want it to be. For life. I love you guys. And I will see you, hopefully, in our next group. I love you.